Heath, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, so now we're rolling. Yeah, Mike told me about you, so what's up? This is kind of a little bit weird without headphones, actually. This is my first podcast without headphones, so see me. We got Tennessee in the room. What's up, Tennessee? You gotta yell, what's up, dude?
How are you?
Yeah, how's it going, Heath? Or Heath Owens. How long you been doing music for, man?
About 7 months, like, for real.
I guess before we start going too far in, can you explain like who you are, what you do?
Yeah.
You're like the local superstar of country, I feel like, lately.
Trying. But yeah, so I in high school I did a little bit of music. I actually had a girlfriend that got me into music. She was like, "Hey, you sing pretty good." And I was like, "Nah, no way." And then I started playing a little bit. And then Heath Clark, he's probably like one of the bigger guys around here for sure. He's the one that really got me into it. So I actually came to one of his shows one time and he was like, "Hey, you want to come play a couple songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I went up there and played a couple songs and like I loved it. And I just loved it ever since. So that was in high school. In high school, my real true love was football. So,
wait, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Kimberly.
Oh, you're Kimberly. Yep. What are they, Bulldogs or something?
Yep, Bulldogs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're within our district. I'm from Buell.
Oh, yep.
So it was Buell, Filer, and Kimberly when I was in school. I think they added someone though.
Yeah, Gooding.
Oh, Gooding's in there.
Yep.
Nice. Did you wrestle?
I didn't. I wrestled until I think 8th grade, and then I just played basketball in high school. Yeah.
Oh, he switched to rubber bouncing.
Yep.
You're kind of like
I'm
shorter
a short
though.
guy. Yeah.
Why'd you go to basketball?
I don't know. Honestly, like
you
looking
feel like
back,
a wrestler guy.
Looking back, I wish I would have stuck with wrestling because I would have been better at it. But it was fun. I mean, all of my buddies played basketball, so that's kind of just how it happened. But and also I'm not a super like aggressive guy. I guess you don't really need to be for wrestling, but felt like I needed to be.
It probably helps.
I
feel like all my friends that were studs at wrestling, they had like demons.
Yep. I mean, just like this guy, toughest guy you'll know. Your
brother Tennessee over here?
Yeah, and he's a great wrestler.
That's a sick name, man. Tennessee, what the fuck? I thought you were fucking with me when you walked in. You're like, I'm Tennessee. I was like, what? Like the whiskey.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name. Yeah.
Nice, dude. So what'd you play in football?
So I played quarterback and safety and on defense. And then but quarterback was my thing.
Oh my gosh.
And then, so a short guy, playing quarterback kind of, definitely, I felt like pretty underrated. But went to college at Idaho State for a year, tried to play football up there. I tried to walk on. I just practiced with them for a while and, it's a whole other world, man. It turned into like it was a job. And I was like, man, I'm not liking football as much as I was before. So I was like, man. And I was studying music up there too. So I was like, well, music or football right now. And I was like, well, I can start making money with music and I might as well just give it a try. So I was like, well, we'll ditch the football idea, start playing music, and haven't looked back since. So
how old are you now?
I'm 19.
You're 19?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Dang.
Yeah, but I turned 20 next month. So.
Oh, nice, dude. Holy cow, you're a little baby.
Yeah.
Dude, you're doing great.
Thank
Holy
you.
cow, I feel like I hear your name everywhere. You're always doing people always shouting you out all over the place around this town.
That's good, yeah.
Dang, dude, and you're so young. And you just barely started doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Because you were just at Idaho State, what, last year?
Yep.
Holy cow, dude.
Last year right now, I was in college.
What do you attribute to all this like quick pace success? At least locally, regionally around here, people, I feel like you've just been getting gigs left and right.
Honestly, from football, I met a lot of people. So a lot of that, like a lot of the people that I knew in football are super supportive of my music career as well. So, and my parents too, like once I pick something, they're like all in. So if I picked football, my dad's all in. If I picked music, my dad's all in, helping me out, doing sound for me. He bought my first speakers for my senior present to kind of get going. My grandparents bought like my pedal board for my guitar for my senior present. So, just to like kind of get the ball rolling for that especially. But they kind of, my mom also helps a little bit with the booking aspect. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly just the people around here, they're just great. And then just getting to know them really well and trying to just be as personable as I possibly can just to relate to them as much as I can to get my name out there.
I feel like being a good singer is probably useful too.
For sure.
Dude, when you were doing the national anthem right before we started this, you were talking about how you were actually nervous for that one. You don't get nervous for your gigs, but you got nervous doing the national anthem. And that's where I saw you because I was there shooting with the CSI cheer team. and they're like, Heath Owens and do the national anthem. I was like, what? Oh,
you're like, hey.
And then, you were doing some crazy, you throwing some spice all over the place, like some, I don't even know what the terms are, but I'm like, that's not the norm. That's like, you're going for advanced stuff there.
For sure.
How long have you been singing for?
Man, I'd say probably since my freshman year of high school. That's kind of when I started. But I didn't really start until like in college. At college, I actually had a lot of time just to myself. Just because it's a new town, I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I didn't stay on campus either. I got a house. So I feel like I kind of messed up there because I didn't meet as many people. But I don't regret that either because like I got so much time to just practice guitar and practice singing all the time. So yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, you were saying that your girlfriend in high school at the time was like, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
You should do so. You were obviously like doing music before then, it seems like.
Yeah.
When did your like music journey officially begin in your life?
Honestly, when I was really young, like my dad plays a little bit of guitar and my grandpa plays guitar as well. My great grandpa, his name's Buck Owens. I don't know if you know who that is. Sure. He was like the #1 country artist in the US in like the 50s and 60s. So just that kind of being in the family, music just kind of runs in the family. So when I was really young, my parents got me like this little toy guitar. They have a little video of me playing like Jingle Bells on it, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I was probably like 2 years old then. So it's been around in my family for forever. So it was bound to happen, Yeah.
It's in your blood.
Yeah.
Nice. Were you doing performances as a kid or anything like that?
No. So I did a talent show when I was like, gosh, I don't know. I'd say probably 4th grade or something with my best friend Jordan Flamling at the time. And we sang When I Was Your Man by Bruno Mars. And we like got up with the judges and started dancing with them. And we got 2nd place. There was a girl that was amazing that got on like America's Got Talent and stuff like that too. So yeah. But
from Kimberly?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I heard. What was her name?
I don't remember.
You don't remember you went to school there?
Well, she was in high school. We were in like 4th grade.
Oh, you were 4th grade. Yeah. Well, that's a big range talent show. Holy cow. Like it's like a town talent show or something?
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, that was probably my first performance. A lot of practice, a lot of like little dance choreography and stuff like that. I don't do the dancing as much anymore, but
that's cool. You were a little performer even back then, running around dancing with the judges, sucking up to them a little.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Dude, so football, I mean, you're so young, so I was like, wonder where your mind is right now, because you said football was like your big love, right?
Yep, for sure.
But obviously you love music. They're two different beasts.
Yeah, definitely.
Seems like music is, what souls do you feel like football feeds versus the soul that music feeds for you?
So, gosh, they're kind of similar in a way. I mean, when you're on the field, there's a crowd watching, but definitely I will miss like the team aspect of football for sure. Like my high school team, we were all super tight, super close together. And I will miss that part definitely just because, working hard with your friends, you just get closer together and you're inseparable. Yeah. Yep. In a way, music's the same as well. Like with my band, like Mike, Tennessee, Hannah, my drummer Chase, like we're all pretty tight, I mean, we don't hang out a lot, but I'd say, we hang out a lot just because we play a lot together. But I mean, there's nothing more fun than playing together. Like it's just, you get your mind off of life a little bit and just have fun,
Does it ever start to feel like it's like work? Like you guys are working together? Or does it always feel like play?
Sure. I wouldn't say it always feels like play. I think the practices, we try to get into the nitty gritty a little bit, and they take a long time, like 4-hour practices. And I mean, these guys are super patient with me and trying to figure stuff out too. So, but yeah, it doesn't always feel like a super great time. Like sometimes it feels like a little bit of a hassle to, and I live out south by the South Hills. So they got to drive out there to my house.
Did you just come from there right here? Yeah. Oh, dang.
It's like a 30-minute drive.
Yeah, especially with the weather how it is today. It's just wild out there.
Yeah, it is.
Dang, I was thinking because you seem so much older because you're like in a leadership position with the band, and seeing how you perform and hold yourself up all around town all the time. Whenever I see you, you just feel like you got a lot more leadership quality to you. So in my mind, I think, oh, he's an older guy. I figured you were like 23 or something.
Yeah.
But you're just you're a little teenager still.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you attribute? Like, where do you get your leadership qualities? How do you go about, having to be responsible for people in your band and getting people to come and work together?
A lot of it actually did come from football for sure. Being the quarterback, you got to be you have to be a leader as a quarterback. If you're not, like, your team's probably not going to succeed. So a lot of things, I watched videos of, you know who Jocko Willink is?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yep, I've read a couple of his books and things like that on leadership. And
good choice.
yeah.
Extreme Ownership.
Yep.
That's the best one, dude. I love that one.
Yeah, it's great.
It changed the way I looked at so many leadership things, like just being able to take a little self accountability.
Yep.
How can this be my fault as a leader?
Yep.
It helps solve so many problems when you run into issues with subordinates and things like that.
Exactly. Yep. And my senior project was actually on how to create a leader. So that's just like something that I've always been interested in. A lot of the people around me too, my dad, my best friend's dad, in their jobs. My dad's a firefighter. My best friend's dad was also a wildland firefighter, but he's like super high up now, works for the top people. I don't know.
Some government thing above.
Yep, exactly. But they both have just helped me a lot with like just advice on how to just be a better leader to help out. I mean, and really it's not about you as a leader, you know, it's all about your team. Mm-hmm. So same aspect with the band, you know, it's not all about me. We all are a whole, we all have to sound good together. So if I'm doing something that's making me sound better than the rest, it's not helping them out. So you have to like even everything out to make sure that we all sound good as a whole, you know, just like football, you have to all play well as a whole. It's not just about you. So I'd say football and my dad and my best friend's dad definitely helped out a lot.
Is there any specific lessons you remember getting from them that just resonated with you, kind of shifted the way you started going about life?
So something that I really struggled with was talking to my coaches about things that I struggled with, and having like serious conversations with adults when you're a high school kid, it's tough to do, especially by yourself with nobody else to be there with you. So them just giving me advice on like how to go up to them and don't wait. Like you got to go do it whenever you feel like it. You got to just go and make sure that you address those issues. I wouldn't say music is a whole lot like that unless I'm trying to like tell a band member like, hey, don't do this or don't do that or do this. I mean, you're doing great. You know, you always have to encourage people as well. And I'd say that probably the biggest lesson that I learned from them is just to not be afraid as a leader. So, yeah, helps a lot.
Well, that sounds easy said. How do you just not be afraid?
It's I guess just through experience. I just remember the first time I went and talked to my coaches, I was so scared. After I did it, felt good about it. They took it well, you know. So, just doing it. You just have to do it. You just have to make yourself do it, even if you don't want to, you know? So, yeah.
I guess that's where courage comes from. There's no courage without fear.
Exactly.
Yeah. When I was in middle school, I did a talent show as well. Yeah. And talking about doing things, repeating, you know, the experience of doing something makes you more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I went out and played saxophone, and I was like, you know, a little band geek in middle school band, and I was like, I'm gonna do a little solo. Printed out a little classical music paper. It was probably so boring to listen to, but I went out there and I was like, let me do it. Dude, I was shaking, dude. Like my fingers started feeling like shaking.
Yep.
And recently, I think this podcast has helped me a lot as well with my like public speaking.
Oh, for sure.
And stuff like that. Just practicing, talking to people.
Yep.
I was just on a cruise. And they chose me to come up for some game show event in front of everybody. Yeah. And I came up and I felt like a little nervous inside, but I wasn't that nervous as I was thinking about that memory from middle school. And I think for me, it was kind of like, I stopped giving a fuck about people a little bit. Yeah. I'm like, I used to care, especially when you're younger, so much about what these people are thinking about me. And then I just remember when I walked on that cruise, I was thinking instead of like, yo, fuck these people. Yeah. I'm just going to go up there. Yeah. But I still had like a gut nervousness, but I got past it pretty easily. How about for you? You know, you're performing all the time. Did you used to get nervous, and do you feel yourself get better at it with time?
For sure. Yep, for sure. So, I mean, anybody can just go up there and play their songs. You know, the tough part that I had to get used to was talking to the crowd in between songs and things like that. And that's what kind of made me nervous, because I could go up there and you can close your eyes and pretend nobody's there and sing your song. But then you got to like be personable to them, because they want to get to know you. I mean, you want to get to know your crowd as well, just so that you can, you know, play the right songs for them, or hopefully, I mean, reach them in a certain way to make them feel a certain way, you know. And at the beginning, I was not good at it. Watching Heath Clark play, he's probably the best performer you'll see. He's great with talking to the crowd, great with all of his movements on the stage, like he's top tier performer. And just watching him, like I just took little pieces from it and I was like, okay, I need to start doing this. I need to start doing this. And yeah, at first it was pretty nerve-wracking, but I mean, just little bits at a time, you start getting better at it. And I mean, you'll probably never perfect it because I mean, it's just one of those things that you can always get better at. So, I mean, I'll always be working on it, but that's the thing that I was really nervous about. Singing wasn't too bad ever. I'm really more nervous to sing in front of my family than anybody else because, well, honestly, they're more harsh than anybody else. So, which is good because then I'll know that if I'm doing something right or doing something wrong. But yeah.
The most supportive, but the most critical as well.
Exactly, yeah. Which, I mean, is support in a way, too. I mean, I want to make sure I'm doing the right things on the stage, too. So if they think it's good, then it's probably
it's the honesty of it.
Yep.
Really, I feel like for criticism, it comes down to the delivery of your criticism. Yep. So, I mean, dude, so I went to film school, and when people would ask, I've told myself I am never giving people criticism about their films again because, you know, you get very attached to your art, at least in films. And I'm sure in the music, it's probably even more so because music, you're so vulnerable, especially if you're writing your songs and it's like, you know, you're coming from your heart. That's some vulnerability going on.
Definitely.
So, but in film school, people are like, oh, hey, can you watch my film before they like submit it or something?
Yeah.
Give me some critiques. I'd look at it. Oh, well, this shot right here, I'd criticize, and they'd be like, people would get heated.
Yeah.
You know, you ever experienced that?
Yeah, definitely.
So, how do you go about giving people criticism? Do you ever? I mean, as a band, you got, you know, Mike, come on, dude, you got to hit that bass better or something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, if you say it it really just depends on how you say it, you know. But I think you always have to give them criticism plus like a little bit of reinforcement too. Like, oh, you're doing this part great, but maybe change up this part a little bit, or let's try that again. Or I'll show them maybe something to do, or my drummer's getting a little bit out of control. I'll be like, hey man, just calm down a little bit. You're good. You know, but he's a 16-year-old kid, you know, he's amazing. Yeah.
Start going
he goes a little crazy, but he's probably the best drummer that I've ever seen. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I think every piece of criticism, you got to like reinforce them with some, definitely some encouragement as well. Just so that you're not tearing them down, you can build them up too. So
boost the morale again. Yep. I heard this Chinese proverb a long time ago, and I'm gonna fuck it up, but I'm gonna try. It started with like this emperor. There's a emperor who was really an asshole, and there was this emperor who was just so nice to everybody, and they were both ruling their kingdoms. And the one that's an asshole switched it up and started being nice to all his, you know, servants and stuff. And they were like, oh my gosh, he's really turned over a leaf. He's so great.
Yeah.
And they really loved him. And the one that was really nice to everyone, he noticed people started like, you know, taking him for granted or something. Yep. And he started turning up the heat and being a little harder on them.
Yep.
So they're both of their aims were to just get onto that balance line.
Yep.
The ones that were underneath the guy who was good originally, they were like, look, what's his problem? He's turned into an asshole lately.
Yep.
And the one that was an asshole first and then good, they were like, oh, he's being great now.
Yeah.
And it's just about the perspective of it because they're both doing the same thing.
Yep.
Except when you start out with the good and then go to the bad, like go to the criticism, people, the negative part lingers at the end. But if you start with that negative criticism and then hit them off with a good note, like, but this part is great, and you leave them off with a good note, then that good part lingers in the end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I always thought about that. Like, whenever I'm trying to give people criticism, myself, I'll be like, oh, this part right here, I don't like this much, but, or I mean, trying to not use the word but too. Like, it seems like the one that you ever hear that once you say but, it cancels everything like, out before. So I try not to say but so they'll say, oh, I like this part right here. I think you could cut that out. This part I really liked. Yep. This part I really liked. And then finishing it off with a good note. It seems maybe like a good way to keep that morale.
I mean, up. It makes sense. Like the last thing you say, it's going to probably stick longer. So yeah.
Because if you're like, I like that. I don't like that. People are like, oh, damn, they don't like that.
Yeah.
So you're writing your own music, huh?
Yeah.
You November, the one you got one on Spotify. I've been listening to it.
So it's actually a Zach Bryan cover. November Air. Yep.
November Air.
Yep. That's so right. I was in my bedroom one day and I was like, well, I'm gonna record a song and put it out on Spotify. And it's not like the greatest recording, but it was. What'd
you record it on?
Put it on. So I have this little Focusrite I don't even know what you'd call it, interface.
Yeah.
Plug that in, use my mom's Apple computer. It's got just GarageBand on it, and then I have a little microphone and plug my guitar.
You got a mic like this that has like XLR?
Yep. It's a condenser mic though, so it's not. I mean, I think these are.
I feel like yours is probably better.
I don't know.
This one I borrowed from my friend. That one is borrowed from my friend, I think, and I bought this one from Dunkley's.
Oh yeah.
And these seem like they're like performing mics.
I think Mike actually just bought that mic.
Mike just bought that mic.
Yeah, Mike just bought that mic.
I want those square ones that are like made for podcasts.
Yeah.
When I hear them at CSI Digital Media, I went and visited them, and they have a podcast studio. They have like their mics are phenomenal for this.
Yeah.
But I'm just working with what I got. I got this gear. I got these cameras. This is what I do. You know, I make documentaries.
Yeah.
So I got this extra mic. I'm like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do a podcast.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun way to hang out with cool people like you.
Yeah. So I heard Mike was telling me that you were doing some stuff with like bodybuilders or something.
Yeah, I work with Generation Iron. So I was just in Turkey last working with this guy Mustafa.
Yeah.
And just I go around shooting some of the world's biggest bodybuilders, making documentaries for them.
Jeez.
It's really awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love being around. Those are the two type of people I want to be around: musicians and athletes. Because their energy, I feel like there's a similar energy. One, I love music. I mean, I got my own little stuff back there.
Yeah.
That I just love playing music, dude. That was my original thing. I wanted to be a music producer. And then I got into filmmaking. I got a little GoPro. I really like that. But the thing between athletes and musicians is there's just like a fire in them. You know what I mean? There's like there's this goal. They're big dreamers. They're like, there's this goal in mind. The musician side though has a lot more just art. There's an artistic side to them, the musicians. The athletes, it's just like more just fiery rage. Work out harder. Think about your competition. Like think about crushing them. Do what you got to do. It's just that discipline. Musicians, I don't know. It seems like you don't need to have that fierce discipline as much, but if you can get it, maybe it'll be very beneficial for your career.
I think that's why when you think about it too, I don't know if a lot of musicians were big sports players in their past life, or not past life, but in their past.
Athletes.
But, they definitely have like a really, they have a lot of discipline from that sport that they played. So they can carry that over to being a musician, which causes them to want to practice guitar more, practice singing more. They just have that because in football, I was practicing, 2-3 hours a day at least, just working on little things every day. And music's the same way. You got to have that same discipline. So I think sports really just, and same with any job, actually. Sports really just help with that discipline to get better at your craft, whatever it is.
So easily measurable.
Yeah.
To decide if you succeed or fail.
Yeah.
With sports. Because you either do it and you end up on top, or you get a little bit laid back and your competition gets better than you.
Yeah.
So that it seems like it's such a great stepping stone for developing, just having a clear vision of work hard equals reward.
Exactly.
And taking that into whatever you end up doing in your life.
Yep.
If you apply that hard work, it'll pay off. The crappy thing though, because I think we're kind of similar in that, I'm like in an artsy field, documentary filmmaking. It's a very unusual one. And it's very, in art fields, the trick is, how am I going to make money off of this? Figuring that out.
Yep.
And then you got to apply those discipline aspects to refining the business approach.
Yeah.
Because the art side is easy. It's like just flow and let your soul speak and blah, blah, blah. What's it like for you balancing, so far, how have you experienced balancing your creative side with your business side as moving forward in your career?
So a lot of times it's, especially with booking shows, I don't necessarily have to reach out to as many people because they're starting to reach out to me a little bit, especially in this area. But like getting over to Boise and other states and things like that, fairs, music festivals. I've been having a little bit of trouble because it's hard to get those people to answer because there's always those bigger bands that they can get in there that they know for sure are going to put on a good show. So it's more just, posting on social media all the time, emailing people probably, once or twice a week. I try not to annoy them too much. What's that?
Like cold emails, like you haven't talked to them and you're just reaching out like, hey, I'm Heath.
Yep. So they don't really have any idea like who I am. So I usually send a couple of videos and some pictures and things like that from shows just to kind of give them an idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll reach out and say like, hey, I'd love for you to come out to this show if you're able to, especially like Highway 30. I want to get into there eventually. just a big show that's around here. I don't have to go very far. It's huge. Yeah. Playing with guys like, Co Wetzel and Cody Jinks and those big guys. That's like a big dream of mine. So, every few months, I guess I'll invite Gordy out to a show and see if he can make it. And I'd love for him to like give me some pointers, like, hey, you need to work on this, or you need to work on this, so that I can get to that level that those guys are on.
What's the difference between levels? Like in music for a documentary, I can see like, oh, maybe the cinemas, now that people are shaky cameras, the storyline isn't as refined. There's like those things that I've noticed as I've gotten better. So I can see the levels between a Netflix documentary and some student film documentary. What are the usual culprits that are a telltale sign that you're not at the high level? How do you determine where the levels are in music?
I think it's kind of hard to tell, because you'll see guys that are super talented, just amazing, and they don't make it anywhere. And I don't know necessarily what that reason is. I'd say a lot of it is, the people you know. The more people you meet, the more opportunities you're going to get. A lot of it is being super original. You have to be original. Like all those guys that are big today, they came out with their own sound. They have their own sound.
Their own sound. That's so weird to think, though, because it's like there's this lyric that always sticks with me from some Selena Gomez song. I don't even listen to Selena Gomez, but this lyric stuck with me, and it was like every good song has already been sung. And you just think about, looking at my piano over there, looking at all those notes, it's on repeat. You know what I mean? There's only a few notes, unless you're gonna go like India style with some sitar, like woo, 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 like getting all those weird micro middles, whatever the hell you call it. But yeah, what would you call it? Because there's only sharps, flats, and then the whole note, and then that's all you got to work with.
Yeah.
So how original can you get? What?
So every chord progression has been used. Everything's been used, like in music, I guess. But that's why I kind of try to write. I write songs about my personal experiences, about things that happened with me, because nobody else has had that exact same thing happen to them. So it's going to be a little bit unique for sure. Then there will be some people that have gone through it that are going to be like, oh, this really resonates with me. Then you put that whatever chord progression you want behind it. It does have to be catchy. It's you can't just throw like some random chords down and make nothing out of it. But I think it's more of the personal experiences that you want to try and get out there, because there will be some people out there, maybe a lot of people too, that have gone through that. Everybody goes through breakups and things like that. So breakup songs are typically like your most relatable songs, because
especially with country.
Have been through it. Yep, exactly. Country is huge in breakup songs. I don't typically write a lot about that because a lot of people do write about it. That's another way of me trying to be unique. I don't want to write a bunch of breakup songs. Like I'm writing a song right now that's about being a traveling musician. I've never really traveled a lot, but I've heard stories from people traveling and being broke, not being able to pay for gas or things like that to go to their next show. But it gets pretty tough for them. So I wanted to start writing a song to help people kind of educate people on like, hey, this is kind of like what some traveling musicians go through. So, supporting them is a great thing.
Is this Untold Stories?
It's not. This one I haven't finished yet.
It's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Okay.
But Untold Stories, I don't know if you've maybe heard a little bit of it.
I saw your clip on Instagram and I was like, damn, this sounds like a banger.
I'm excited for that one. It's going to be the first one that goes out. So I think hopefully next week I'll start. I just got the final recording back. So like the finished mix, mastered, everything. So nice. It'll be soon. Yeah, I'm really excited.
You're going to get it on your Spotify, huh?
Yep.
It's going to trump that November Air one.
Yep.
You just recorded in your room or whatever the hell.
Yep.
Oh, you went to a studio for Untold Stories. Yeah. Nice. Where, in Boise or here?
In Gooding.
Oh, in Gooding.
Yep. So you know who Ellie Mae is?
She sounds so familiar.
She's from Jerome. She plays music around here a lot. She's getting pretty big now. She's I think she's gonna make it here pretty soon. Yeah, she is amazing. But her drummer has another band called the Kung Fu Chimps, and they're like a rock band. Their guitarist, his name is Sean. He has a recording studio over there in Gooding, and he records a lot of Ellie Mae's music, and he started recording my music as well. But yeah, he's super great, and I'm super grateful for those guys over there for doing that.
Awesome. There's like a community here for you guys to be able to work together and lift each other up.
Definitely
have access to some good quality equipment.
Yep, the music scene around here, it's amazing. Like everybody's so supportive of everybody. If you need something, somebody's always there to help you out with it. Like for New Year's, my drummer was gone, so Ellie Mae's drummer was like, "Yeah, I'll step in and play for you guys." Like, I mean, I don't know how many people would do that. You know, it's really cool, especially just having one practice, playing a 3-hour show with us is amazing, and he did a great job. So I'd say the music scene around here is thriving.
You feel like it's like see, for video, at least when I first was starting, before I really got a hold of being able to make documentaries all the time, I was, doing the videographer kind of thing, trying to do whatever could give me money with my cameras. And I could get this sense of like, just this competition sense. This is a free market, especially, when you're trying to get clients with the other video guys around here who are like, if I'm doing good, that means I'm taking clients from them.
Yep.
And so then this like little bit closed community starts forming.
For sure.
But since I've broken out doing documentary, it's way more artistic and it's not like I'm taking anyone's clients anymore. And I personally feel like that sense of like, I just don't I want to help. I want to other video people. I'm like, what you doing? Oh, like, what can I do to help you out? I'll send clients their way if I can, and things like that. Does the music world get competitive? Do you feel that ever?
For me, not necessarily. I don't feel like anybody, just because I'm me. Like, they can be great at their thing, but that's their thing. I'm not gonna try to be them. So I'll get my own fans with me, so because they're not going to be me, I'm not going to be them. So I'm going to support them as much as I can because we're not the same, if that makes sense. Like we're definitely not doing the same thing. Even if we're both singing, country music, we're both still different people. We're still doing like different songs. We write our own different songs. So if they bring out more people because of the songs they've written, like I love that for them because they deserve that, we're all like, if I was getting more people and somebody was trying to tear me back down, I wouldn't like that. So, why would I do that to somebody else as well? So it just wouldn't make sense. I just, support is a huge thing. Plus, just like what I was saying, my parents are big supporters. Not everybody has their parents there. So everybody, like I try to do as much as I can to, bring up other people and, encourage them and help them stay excited about their thing because it can get boring from time to time too. Just playing at bars and things like that. So
that's awesome that you get into the point where you're like so used to it.
Yeah.
Because you just do it so often. You're performing a lot.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. That seems good for developing that public speaking kind of comfort.
Yeah.
Do you feel
that practice?
So what's the difference? You said the national anthem you felt nervous about.
Yeah.
And that song in particular gets you nervous.
Yep.
So why?
It's a difficult song to sing for sure, especially the way that I do it. I don't know why I picked the hard way to do it, but and usually it's in front of a lot of people, and then also there's no music backing you up. There's no people up there with you, so you can't like I don't even have a guitar in my hands, so there's no like support behind the vocals. It's just straight singing. So if you mess up at all, you can definitely hear it. Like even at the game, I had like a little voice crack on one of the parts, and I was like, "Oh man, yeah." But I mean, it's not a huge deal. It happens,
for us casuals, we don't even hear it. For you, you're probably sitting there thinking about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something about that song, and it's an important song too. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot more nerve-wracking than just playing with a band or at least having music behind you.
So being from Kimberly, I mean, I'm from Buell, pretty similar kind of small town sizes. It turned me into a country boy, running around, jumping on cows and doing ridiculous outdoorsy stuff with your homies, bonfires and camping and whatever.
Yep.
How did your background in Kimberly kind of mold you into this genre of country that you do?
Gosh, me and my brother have grown up rodeoing, so he started when he was 2. I started when I was 4. Started like riding sheep, and then we were mostly rough stock guys. So he still rides bulls and still rides bareback horses. And I stopped when I was, I think, 8th grade, I think. Same with wrestling. But just to follow that football dream. But I think the rodeo scene like really kind of molds you into that. Like you're a cowboy now. You got to listen to country music. That's kind of how it goes. But then going to college kind of like broadened my music horizons. Yeah. Made me listen to a lot more genres, and I started listening to a lot of blues music, a lot of metal, rock. I don't listen to pop, and I don't listen to rap very much. I don't know. I just don't really like them very much. But yeah. So college really like opened everything up for me and started. I mean, I used to only pretty much listen to country music. Now I listen to a lot of different stuff, which is really good because then you can add like some, jazz aspects, blues aspects, rock aspects into your country music, which makes it just even more original because it's me. It's what I listen to. So it's pretty much just saying like, oh, when I write a song, they're like, okay, so I can hear this rock aspect. So this is him, this is what he listens to. So that's what he writes about.
What about 90s hip hop, dude? Dr. Dre?
I love 90s hip hop.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you do like some hip hop.
I just don't like the
mumble rap stuff?
Modern hip hop. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I don't like it. I just don't listen to it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 90s hip hop, that's like the golden era of hip hop.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Dre.
No, I'd agree with
Ice
you.
Cube.
Yeah.
But I had this philosophy because I run into people all the time who are like, it's very common that you'll run into people who are like, I hate country music. I don't like country music. Yep. Oh, it's so ugly, turn it off.
Yep.
Yeah, my girl is one of them. But actually, I've gotten her onto some stuff. Started getting her into some George Strait. I was like, listen to this.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy. But I feel like it's because of their upbringing, because for country music, for guys like us, it like reminds us of home.
Yep.
And all the country music sings about like country shit.
Yep.
Going out, you in your truck, doing things that we did growing up.
Yep.
And then people who just like grow up in the city, they can't relate to all that outdoorsy genre because they never did that.
Yep.
And so I feel like it's just, that's the thing. Because I'm like, music, it's so, this is actually a question I have for you. I was going to say music is so mathematical almost. This is weird. This is going to be a very philosophical. I was going to save this question for later, but I'm going to just hit you with it now. I wrote, is music real? So if a tree falls in the woods, that question, if no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. So it's like a reality question. When does sound become music? When does this become music and not just tapping sound? And do you think it's music is mathematical, like the rhythm is mathematical and measurable, or it's a subjective experience that once there's someone who can interpret it, that's when it's officially becomes music? What do you think about that?
That's an interesting one for sure. I feel like there's kind of both. I feel like, when there's like a rhythm, I feel like if there's a rhythm to anything, I think it could be music. So even like a horse loping, Yep. I feel like even something like that could be music, But then again, like you hear some weird stuff. There's some weird stuff that like really doesn't have rhythm and things like that. So I feel like part of it is like an experience that you could go through. And then I feel like a lot of it is just that rhythm, if that makes sense. But I feel like it could go both ways.
Well, I think this question could help us to break this one down a little further. Is the emotional reaction to music a unique human experience, or do you think the emotional reaction to music is a constant that can be found in nature?
I'd say, I don't know. I think once again, I think like, you feel things in both areas. So, but music, I feel like you can make people feel a certain way. In nature, I feel like you go out there and it's just kind of how it is, But in music, I feel like, if there's a song, it's in a minor key, it's probably going to feel sad, or it's going to feel a little bit scary. If it's in like a major key, it's going to feel happy, it's going to feel upbeat. And it also depends on the rhythm too. Like a lot of songs, like if it's in a 3/4, it's going to feel probably kind of like a love song, or it's going to feel it's a certain different way where you kind of like swing in. There's other ones where you feel like you want to kind of like jump up and down just because that beat is different.
So each certain mathematical rhythm you're saying kind of induces a specific emotional response.
Yep. There's like you probably remember XXX Tentacion, right?
Oh yeah.
So I watched a couple of videos on him before, and he was explaining like he would write his songs specifically to make people feel like really sad, because there was like certain frequencies that he found that would make people just feel like so sad and just or feel like uplifted, you know. So it's just super interesting to think about that. Like you can like literally make people feel happy or feel sad. I feel like there's a lot of people that are more numb to their emotions. They don't really show their emotions, or they don't feel emotions as much. But there's like, so my song Stories Untold, that one, it's definitely like the guitar is pretty sad. The words are really sad. I think it's going to make you feel kind of sad, you know? So it's just super interesting to, especially listening to what X said. He was just explaining that he can make people feel how he wants them to feel, like through the frequencies of the song, which is just kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, you just blew my mind. I actually just had this revelation thinking about it in terms of a filmmaking aspect. There's this quote that one of my favorite philosopher teachers, Dr. Cornel West, wrote. And he says, all art aspires to the condition of music. And when he said that, I was like, holy shit, that's so true. When I'm watching a film, you know, music gives you goosebumps. Music, it vibrates you. Yeah. It like makes you feel these emotions come out. Something about the vibrations, I don't know what it is, but something magical seems. And if an art piece on a wall can make you feel what music feels, it's successful. Yeah. If poetry, if you read off of just a poem and it makes you feel what the tingling you can feel with some specific songs, those vibrations, then it's successful. Yep. And I've noticed with films that it seems that the music choice really enhances the film quality. So if you have you ever see those scenes where they like replace a song and it changes the whole vibe of the scene? Yep. And it just made me realize maybe music, I've been kind of thinking of lyrics as part of music, you know, like they're the same thing. But with the way you said it, the lyrics aren't, it's just the literature. That's just literature. But when you, the feeling you want to invoke in your audience, you pair that little piece of literature up with the, you know, the minor key type of music. And now you give a presentation of these lyrics are sad. And I want you to understand that these lyrics are supposed to be sad. So it's almost like filmmaking in a way where it's like, if I have a scene and I want it to be a sad scene, I find a sad song, put it on there. Now the audience knows the message is, what you're seeing is sad. What you're hearing in my words are supposed to be sad. That's wild. So music isn't even the lyrics. Music is that underlying bass that you put onto your piece of literature to enhance that and tell your audience a message.
Wow. Exactly. Yeah. And then some people will do the opposite. Like they'll put happy words on a sad song, or they'll put like a happy beat to sad words. Which is super weird. It makes you kind of confused, like what's going on. Art. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, you don't hear that super often, but some people do that.
It's a good contrasting mix. I actually been thinking about it because one a documentary project I want to take on this year is find some like ice skaters, because on the cruise ship I was just on, we watched the ice skating performance, and they were just like awesome. And I was thinking, you know, I'm doing stuff with the CSI cheer team, and I always try to make the videos a little bit like more badass, a little more street vibe. Put like cool hip hop songs to it, and because I think it juxtaposes really well with a very feminine sport. If you put like rugged music, it's like a cool balance where it's like it makes the sport that would typically looked at as very like, you know, princessy seem like rugged, which is a cool off balance. Kind of like that's what makes me think of what you're saying, like putting happy words with like sad music. You could create like that odd mix of like, oh, there's something like dark and off about this. But dark and off. Dark and off. That's weird.
But it's interesting. It's really, I mean, I think it draws you in because of that. You're like, oh, I need to figure this out. So, I mean, like what you were saying, putting that, like that badass music on some, I mean, even like figure skaters or I don't know what you said.
Is it truly, well, what I want to do is start shooting some sort of figure skating thing and try to make it like really badass, like some X gonna give it to you as they're like lacing up there first.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like putting that unexpected type of vibe to it.
Yeah.
To bring out a different side of it. That
and that's unique too. Yeah. You don't see that very often.
And I guess that's kind of what we're talking about, trying to be unique.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how can I do this in a different way that hasn't been done.
Yep.
And so going off of that, what is your process on trying to, like, your writing process, being creative? How do you go about saying, you know, I'm going to make something?
I wouldn't say it's not easy. So I guess whatever music I'm listening to at the time, I kind of take something similar to it, and then I just write my own words to it. So I'd say a big influence for my song Stories Untold, there's a song called Dancing in the Sky. So it's kind of similar. It's about somebody that's died and he wants them to, you know, thrive in heaven, right? And I was like, well, that's like a really cool idea to write about. So I'm going to write like from my own experience about that topic. And then I kind of got my own chords and started writing a song about that. So I kind of just take like an idea and then I take chords that I think would sound cool and I just throw them together. A lot of
do you have the lyrics yet in mind, or just the idea?
No, just the idea. So I usually have the chords first and then I write the lyrics because I'm not a good lyricist. I cannot write words to save my life. It just takes a long time. So sometimes it's quick. Like a couple of my songs I've written in like 10 minutes and then a couple of them take months, you know? So it just kind of depends on where my mind's at the time. But it's like I said, chords, every chord progression has been done already. So really at that point, the unique part of each song would be the words. And then it would be the guitar that you add into, like the guitar solos or things like that. You could do it differently just to make that a little bit more unique. But just because everything has been done already pretty much, it's hard to create brand new music that nobody's ever heard. So that's the tough part. But then the words are what make it unique because you want it to resonate with people, but you also want it to be personal to you.
Do you feel that hearing the music first helps you think of the words better?
Yeah, I think so. Because so what I do is I write the chords. I start like humming a melody in my head, and then off that melody that I'm humming, I just start like writing words, usually like one sentence at a time, and go from there. Yeah,
I feel the same way with filmmaking. Whenever I'm like thinking about how do I want to tell a scene, I literally just go onto Spotify and start listening to music, and I just start visualizing scenes.
Yeah.
And this song sucks. Let me find the vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, this song has a good vibe of what I can see a scene with this.
Yeah.
And then the music it helps me paint the scene in my mind, and then I can go and make it. So it's like the music, I feel this similarly to you.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear the music first, and it'll give me that inspiration.
That makes sense.
So strange, huh? Where inspiration comes from. Dude, there seems to be something. I constantly feel this. There just seems to be something extra special about music. And I was telling Mike this. I feel like it's just like some higher dimensional artifact. Like it's that thing that it's from the beyond, the divine. You know, it's like a little gift from the divinity beyond this existence that when we get a taste of it, you like feel it. That's like it's touching you in a different way.
Yeah.
We sit there and listen and we get inspired to make art by it.
Yep.
It's just there's something special about it. It's wild.
For sure.
So you first listen to some music and then you write along too. That's pretty cool. All right. Who are your biggest musical influences?
Man, there's so many. I'd say so not necessarily musical wise, but Zach Bryan. He's a super lovable guy, super honest, he looks like a kind guy. He's always writing songs about things that people care about. So that's like a big influence to me. I want to write songs that people care about. I want to be a likable guy. I want to look happy on the stage because you don't want to look angry while you're up there. Nobody wants to look at somebody that's angry up there. So
maybe not.
Well, it depends on what songs you're singing.
Another question I was gonna hit you with was Zach Bryan is your sorry to cut you off there, but
no, you're good.
The thing that you reminded me of is, does pain make art more valuable?
I'd say yeah. I mean, there's a lot of angry music as well. I think it does depend on what you're playing at the time. If you're playing a sad song, you don't want to be like all smiley and happy, because you want your crowd to feel that sad way because you're trying to reach them in that way. But yeah, I think you need to like impersonate the song that you're singing. So if you're singing a happy song, you need to look happy. If you're
match
singing a sad
emotion.
Song, as much as you can, because you want the audience to feel that way. That's why you wrote the song in that way.
How much of it is you're matching the emotion for the audience, and how much of it is you have to like get yourself into that state so you can perform it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you got to get yourself into that feeling, like an actor who has to do a sad scene where they cry. Like they just have to be alone for a second and get into that zone so they can perform like that. How much of it do you balance when you're performing?
There's a lot of that too, for sure. I mean, if you're singing a sad song, you're going to want to, be as sad as you possibly can. Like when I was recording that song, I just got in my mind, like this just happened to me and I'm singing about it right now. So I'm trying to portray through the recording even that I'm feeling sad as well. In like some parts you need to sing like more aggressively, or you need to sing softer just because it's more like a somber part. That has a lot to do with it too, for sure. You need to get into that mindset so that you can sing that song to your best ability, to the way it's supposed to sound, so that they can feel that way for sure. Yeah.
I think of like people like Van Gogh who, end up killing themselves, and all of a sudden their art is so valuable. And there's even that one song, it's like, your words are worth so much more after you're a goner. Yep. And I'm like, that's so true. It seems like, because you were saying, you don't want to be angry on stage, but maybe, I guess if you're singing an angry song, you would want to be, it's so conflicting, because some of the artists that people love, the ones who are rash and just, they're just uncontrollable, emotional, wild people. Once they're dead, people look back at them as so human and love them.
Yep.
But during the time, it's just so. How do you, especially you being so young, how do you? I guess you can't stop life. I was gonna say, how do you go about just gaining those life experiences so you still? Because pain does, in my opinion, feel like a key to making music. We were talking about if music is just a natural thing in life. And you kind of hinted that there needs to be an emotional connection. That's what makes it creative. That's what makes it human, is if it's tied to a story that's real, tied to a human experience. And that's what makes it now a piece of art.
Yep.
What do you plan on? Like, do you have any plans on how you're going about life so you can have some material to work with?
I don't have any plans of, going through pain necessarily. I don't think anybody does.
It's just inevitable.
But, it happens. Obviously, everybody goes through things. But, I've had my fair share of experiences that I can write about. But then also, a lot of it too is writing about other people's experiences as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be about your own. It could just be like some more similar people that or things that have happened to people that you write about that. You don't have to say their name in it, so they don't have to know specifically that it's about them, but
tell the story.
Yep, exactly.
That makes me think of people like Quentin Tarantino. I got a Quentin Tarantino poster back here. Like that guy, he's never done. He worked at like a video store, and then he just started writing stories like Pulp Fiction, like gangster stories. He was never a gangster.
Yeah.
But he was able to articulate and create these stories that we all love and want to enjoy, like we watch and get captivated by. So do you kind of approach it in that kind of, writing mindset right now? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So Untold Stories is kind of like that, is what you were saying? No. Untold Stories is not the one that's about the traveling musicians. That's the one you're working on right now. Yep. That's not been released at all.
Yep.
Or talked about. Untold Stories, what's that one about?
So that one is about a loved one that dies. So you're kind of trying to go through life without them, trying to figure out how to get through life without that person that died. And you're just hoping the best for them in heaven. And so it says, like, I hope you're dancing on the stars and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be like a kind of a sad thing because somebody's died, but you're also happy that they're doing well, they're in a better place. So that one's not specifically about me, but some personal like experiences that have happened to some people that I know. So yeah, I mean, it's not like a specific story to theirs, but it's like a similar thing. I know a lot of people, everybody goes through that in life. So I just wanted to write a song about that. Have like, yeah, it's sad for sure, but I just wanted to also give people hope that they're doing better. You know, they're in a better place for sure, and that they're doing good. So it's okay if that makes sense. So that one's not a personal story to me, but I wanted to make it personal to everybody that has gone through that. So yeah.
Oh, you're such a good guy, man. You're like writing these positive hope stories. You're trying to like put a little good influence out there in the world. Why are you like this? Why are you so nice? Dude, when I was your age, I was such a little asshole, angry at the world. I went to join the Marine Corps and I was just like, big asshole. I've had to work through it as life continued on to learn how to, you know, be positive and like bring something good to the world, because it's like the only thing we can bring that's worth doing, you know?
Yeah.
In my opinion. Well, you're 19 years old already, you know, and trying to put out these good messages into the world. Why do you think what molded you into this type of character?
Man, my parents, I've always grown up going to church too. I think being close to God is a big part as well, because I think just being that person that helps bring hope into the world, it's a big thing. I also don't want to feel, you know, down in the dumps. I like listening to songs. I like listening to songs that give you hope too. So I feel like everybody deserves to feel a little bit of that for sure. So I think God is a big part in helping me try and bring hope to people and be a kind person as well. I'm not always a kind person, nobody is, but try my best.
Yeah, if we got it in our mind to have a goal to work towards, I think that
for sure
would be the key. Because who's ever going to get it right other than some freaking like bald dude in robes on a mountaintop somewhere? Yep. And even then, I feel like it's because he's not interacting with anybody. He's not dealing with all the assholes out there. And like, being tested. Let me calm down a little bit. Okay, let me hit you with it. We're gonna go off the beaten path a little bit.
Okay.
Do you think the second coming is near?
Man, I don't know.
Dude, the world feels like it's starting to go pretty wild, right?
Yeah. So I think, so they haven't built the new temple in, I think it's Jerusalem or Israel.
Oh yeah.
So I think we have until then, pretty much. That's my
is that
thought.
like a Revelations thing?
So in Revelations, they have to build a new temple. The Antichrist has to come. So I guess we'll see.
What do you mean new temple? Because couldn't have a temple been built by within the last 2,000 years? What's new?
It could have. Yeah, that's for sure. So I mean, in all reality, I have no idea. Nobody will know until it happens.
God, I just remembered my dream, dude. I had a dream that everyone had chips in their heads. I had this dream last night. I don't remember the details of it, but that was a key component of it.
Yeah.
Because that's like a Revelations thing too,
like
right?
Mark of the Beast, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, is that Neuralink? Are you gonna put Neuralink? You're gonna do where's your limit of technology where you're stopping?
Oh, I don't know. Like nothing, honestly.
Do you do VR? Do you play VR? You don't play VR?
No.
Have you ever played VR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just don't have a VR.
No, I don't have VR.
Yeah, VR's sick, but yeah, it gets kind of boring. Oh, dude, I love technology. I love the innovative technology, but damn, it seems like some people just cannot handle that shit.
Yeah.
I like to think of like, I would love for the human race to be like starfaring, you know?
Yep.
We could look, but I often find thinking about that second coming question, I think I have friends that they don't plan for retirement or nothing because they think of, the economy's gonna be fucked by the time we're old. So why even waste money to plan for the future?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a little bit hint of that with people these days of like trying to think about the future of humanity.
Yep.
Because it's like, why should we? It's all going to get fucked soon anyways.
No, it's crazy. A lot of like my friends are like, I'm not even going to have kids because like the world's just going downhill. But I mean, since the world's going downhill, like I don't regret my parents having me. So it's like, shoot.
Well, it seems just like that's just the ultimate hopelessness.
Yeah.
Like giving up. I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
What, you think the future's, you don't want to fight for the good of the future?
Yeah, exactly.
So, because that's what sucks. I feel like it just gives you an out. You know what I mean? It gives you an out to not try to fight for the light. You ever watch Interstellar?
I haven't seen that one.
With Matthew McConaughey. There's a quote. There's a like little poem that gets written in there all the time. The gist of the movie, they're trying to save the people on Earth because we fucked the whole planet up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
and they go out into the stars and they go into a wormhole and shit. It's one of my favorite movies. It's awesome. I mean, the soundtrack's on like every fucking TikTok now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it says, "Do not go gently into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light." And I always think about that. I love that because it makes me think, even at, if I'm an old man lying in bed, like dying, or like thinking about like if someone who's fighting cancer.
Yep.
It's like, oh yeah, it's maybe you are diagnosed with terminal, but I feel so pro rage against the dying of the light. Like fight for that fucking light.
Yeah.
Fight to keep it alive. Let's protect that little light we have here on earth. And even if you think, oh, it's inevitable, we're going to be fucked. It's like, I just want to fight for it so bad.
Yep.
And I can just sense often with a lot of my peers, people are giving up that fight and they're just kind of like, oh, let's go gently into that good night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. People are just starting to kind of coast through life a little bit, and I think that's why it keeps going down. So, I mean, we got to do our best to just keep, maybe even that's the next song, right? Keep fighting to keep the world going, I don't know.
You got to find some good chords to just listen to for a while.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, but that's pretty crazy for sure.
Yeah, it seems like you're on the right approach, talking about hope and stuff. Dude, for someone like you, you must have had good grades in high school, I'm guessing.
Pretty good.
You seem like a really solid guy. Like good grades, quarterback, doing all this stuff. I have a friend like you, my friend Camden. And dude, it seems like a pretty ballsy move to jump into, doing this career path. It's a big risk.
For sure.
Do you get scared? How do you feel?
A little bit, yeah. I think going into this winter, I started getting a little bit discouraged. I have not been doing this for very long, which is,
okay, I have one of those.
Yeah, man, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's been interesting because I feel like
Does this pop off? I don't do this normally. Oh, you got one left? You're gonna let me have your last one?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. I don't do this much, but
let's do this.
If you're doing it, I'm doing it.
All right.
I'm always down for a good buzz.
We have to.
Are we cheersing?
Yeah. But I haven't been doing this for very long. But going into this winter, I was getting a little bit discouraged because in the wintertime, everything kind of slows down. Started playing smaller shows. This summer was crazy. Like I did not expect to play any of the shows that I did. Playing a lot bigger shows than I thought we would. So going into this winter, I was like getting a little bit discouraged. Like not very many people are coming out. But it's not necessarily about that either. It's a lot for me as well. For sure it's for other people too, but it is a lot for me too because I just love doing it. And I just needed to remind myself, like, man, this is what I love to do. This is fun. Like, it's not a job. It is a job, but I don't have to make it a job. Like not very many people get the opportunity to do what I'm doing. So I can't take that for granted. I have to just love what I'm doing. Yeah. So, and
you're so young, you don't have responsibilities really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yet. So now it's the carefree time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm 30. So I've gone through my phases where I'm like, what the fuck how am I going to fucking pay for like my family and kids and bills and that shit, scariness. Yep. Seems like you have a little bit of time before you get that burden pushing on you.
Hopefully, yeah.
But if you got love in it and you're starting so early, it seems like sky's the limit, man. Yep. Like you stay with it and you'll get better. Yep. It's with what I've gathered from what you've been saying, it seems like it's all about kind of like reputation building.
For sure.
To get in those gigs, you're cold calling people and cold emailing people, but it seems like once you get your reputation, then people will come tell you, hey, will you do this?
Yep.
Or if they know of you, then they'll want you to be there.
Yep.
So, damn, social media is probably very helpful for that.
Definitely.
Huh?
Yeah.
How much energy do you spend on that?
Not as much as I should. For some reason, I end up like videoing something of me singing. I just don't like it, and I don't post it.
We gotta like it. That's for sure. For sure. Like it. I post so much shit. Like I'll post some dumb shit that like I'll just be like looking through my phone, and I find this funny memory, and I've gotten to the mindset where I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna dump it out there, whether it's gonna like get a lot of likes or not. Because for me, I think what switched, especially with this podcast too, I started it was I've just gone to so many funerals at the point where they pull up the media and you see, oh, here's some Snapchat videos of what they were doing. There's some little photos that people had. And I just think, what are they going to show at my funeral? And it makes me excited to know that, I have these like long form content that, my family could go look back on. They're going to remember me for what I was actually like.
Yeah.
Not just like little flash Instagram stuff. I'm already feeling a head buzz from that. Is that like extra power or something?
Yeah, that's the sixes. They're a little.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. That's quality stuff right there. Dang, yeah. But that might be, me getting older too, thinking about legacy. You think about legacy ever?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah. Especially like just because.
Real quick, Tennessee, could you help me out? Do you think could you flip that light switch for me, dude?
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Like listening to my great grandpa's music and stuff, and then playing it at shows, seeing less and less people singing along with it. A lot of older folks like to listen to those songs for sure, but people my age, they don't have a clue. So it'd be cool to be able to do something big enough to where like it lasts for a long time, And I do my best to keep my great grandpa's legacy alive.
What was extra special about him, do you think?
So I don't know if you've heard like the Bakersfield Sound with like Dwight Yoakam, Merle Haggard.
That's
Buck
the song?
Owens. No, so it's like
it's a genre
it's
vibe?
a sound. Yeah, it's like a genre pretty much. It's like a country genre.
Subgenres.
He pretty much created it. He was like, so that's why he pretty much came out with just a new genre pretty much. He started playing a lot of things that a lot of people had never heard before in country music. So he just was like a big part of country music, which is crazy. But then
that's sick, dude.
Yeah, but then like a lot of people don't really know who he is. I mean, it was a long time ago, so rightfully so, I think. But
he's still around?
No,
he's passed.
Yeah.
Can we look up one of his songs and listen? Is it on Spotify or anything?
Oh
yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's listen to a song. You guys getting hot in here?
A little bit.
It is getting hot,
warm.
right? You see me? I'm starting to sweat. Let's have blizzard in here.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me what to look up.
Let's go. His biggest song is called "Streets of Bakersfield," I think.
So he's from Bakersfield?
Yep.
So is my best bud from the Marine Corps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he lives in the hood.
Yeah. Well, all my family's from there. I was born there.
Buck Owens?
Yeah.
There's a few options here. We got one with Dwight as well.
Yep.
Which one do you think is the best?
Yeah, you could go with that one probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a listen, folks. Whoa. This is that Bakersfield sound? What'd you call it?
Bakersfield Sound, yep. Yeah, so him and Dwight Yoakam were pretty good buddies. They played a lot together.
Is this them right here?
Yeah, so this is Dwight Yoakam singing right now.
Is your grandpa the guy on the right?
Yep.
Is that guy right here?
Yep. That's him right there.
You got a good voice.
He does.
This is Dwight, huh?
This is Buck right here.
What the fuck? I didn't know Bakersfield had a country scene.
Yeah.
Is that your gramps on the harmony?
Yep.
Nice. Is he gonna get the next verse?
He just had that verse before.
Oh,
that was him. Yeah.
It sounds almost a little Mexican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Super. Yeah, I think they had a lot of Spanish influence too, and then like Marty Robbins too. I had like a lot of
the accordion. It sounds like there's accordion in there, right?
accordion in there. Yeah.
Can you fuck with accordion?
No.
That seems like something I would want to learn, dude. Because
it'd be cool.
I do piano.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of like a harmonica piano.
Yeah.
That you don't have to sit there.
Yeah.
Harmonica's a bitch because you got to like every little hole.
Yeah, it's so confusing.
Plus, like the bending and stuff. You ever try harmonica?
Yeah. Yep. I can play one song, and it's that Whiskey Myers song. Gosh, I can never remember the name of it, but it's got like a really good harmonica intro to it, and that's the only song I can play.
you got because you got into blues when you went over to Idaho State.
Yeah.
So is that where you picked up a harmonica?
A little bit, yeah. So I haven't messed with a lot of like blues harmonica, just a lot of blues guitar. That's like it was the easiest for me to pick up just because the scales that you use in blues music is super simple. So it's not like super hard to pick up. So that was like the first thing that I really started to play on guitar.
Is blues kind of like jazz in that you can kind of like screw up and it doesn't get noticed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How jazz, they can like do a wrong note, but it sounds kind of jazzy.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of that. Yeah. So they're called like blues notes. So it's pretty much like an added note in there. So you can like add a couple notes that aren't necessarily in a lot of other scales too. So, I mean, yeah.
So this is a good segue for this. How do you think country music has evolved during your lifetime?
So during my lifetime,
your short little life,
I think a lot. It's kind of starting to go more towards like I wouldn't say necessarily outlaw, but more of like I'd call it grunge country, if that makes sense. So you know how like hair metal was kind of around in like the 80s and then Nirvana came around, that grunge music. That's what it kind of feels like it's transitioning towards. I'd call it grunge country. So guys like Zach Bryan, Cody Jinks, those guys that aren't necessarily like I would call it like pop country or bro country, like Luke Bryan, Morgan Wallen. That's kind of like a bro country. But I think it's more evolving towards that grunge country now, which is really cool. That's my favorite kind of
grunge
music.
Country. It's hard for me to like process. I know, one country guy that I see popular everywhere now is Jelly Roll. That guy does not look like a country singer.
Nope.
He looks like straight up like a rapper.
Yep, he does.
That is wild. That's like been a look that has been emerging in country stars. I feel like they're tatted up and like more street looking. Is that what you mean by the grunge?
Yeah, I'd say it's more like Co Wetzel. Like I'd say his stuff is, it's more rock style, more like, I'd say like more dirty, if that makes sense. A little bit heavier. He's all tatted up. They don't look clean or anything like that. It's people are liking that style because I think it's like less perfect, if that makes sense. It's less like, it's more relatable because it's not like so perfect. They don't look like models or anything like that. So it's like more
human.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why people are kind of turning more towards that because it's just more relatable. They can get by it. It
seems like people are getting more inclined towards that type of media in general, like overall.
Yep.
Like even just with podcasts, people just looking at mainstream news. For instance, it's like that was the perfect news where they just told you the perfect little story according to them, and then people started realizing this is bullshit. Yep. They want the real stuff. We realize this world is great. I say I'm talking about us as in us normal people that are like actually thinking. Yep. Because damn, I can't help but think that there's a lot of fucking robot people out there. You know what I mean? That's why the world probably is getting crazy because a lot of people aren't. I just assume everyone's more like us, and I still want to assume that where we're more open to the real. We want to see the reality. Yep. We understand the world can be gray. So but I have friends who don't think they think the future of everything is still short form, everything, which it gets more clicks, you get more like Logan Paul people who actually get really famous, but they're like, who the fuck? Are they actually valuable to humanity? Yeah. The people who are valuable to humanity get the worst shit. People like Joe Rogan during COVID, for instance, when they wanted to shut his ass down, it seemed like, it's because he's just being a real person asking questions. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what makes me feel inclined to say we as people, the quiet majority that don't make a ruckus and complain about everything want real, and less of that fake Disneyland, quick media, show us the reality of the world.
For sure. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for aspiring musicians?
Definitely.
What you got?
I'd say find people that have done it and talk to as many people as you possibly can. For me right now, like I've been talking to all the musicians around here for a while. I would not be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for them because they gave me just so much advice that I can use every day, whether I'm playing shows or whether it's writing songs or even practicing just what to practice. So if you're just getting into it, I'd go to their shows, to as many shows as you possibly can, watch them. If you can't talk to them, just watch, even bring a notebook and write down things that you could, or write it in your notes on your phone. Like write down, I need to start doing this, or I need to start doing this.
Be a sponge.
Yeah. Just learn as much as you possibly can. I'm still learning every single day. I'm not going to stop doing that either. And I can't wait to start talking to, those bigger guys that have, done everything, played huge shows. I'm excited to start being able to get pointers from guys like that because that's just going to help me go to the next level. Just be a sponge. Like go to shows all the time, go to concerts, talk to as many people as you possibly can. And then don't only talk to musicians too. Talk to people in your crowds. If you're playing shows, ask them like, hey, what do you want to hear? Like if you went to a concert, what would you want to see? Would you want to see the singer dancing around? Would you what would be unique to you? What would you like to see? I asked that question quite a bit actually to all my friends and people in the crowd. And they tell me what they can, and I take that, remember it, and try to implement that in all my shows. So just try and learn from as many people as you possibly can. Yeah.
If you could go back, into old Heath when you were just starting off, what's some valuable information you would do that you weren't doing then? What would you change?
So I'd practice a lot more.
Like guitar?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Guitar, singing. I'd definitely try and practice with my band a little bit more, probably, because I mean, as a whole, you need to sound really, really good together. I would actually do what I just said. At the beginning, I didn't go to a lot of shows. I kind of just tried to figure it out on my own. I actually recently just started trying to go to as many concerts and shows as I possibly can. Just see what everybody does differently, because when they're succeeding, there's something that they're doing that is unique. And then I can kind of go off of that and start doing my own unique thing. So at the beginning of my career, I kind of just was going to my shows and just trying to figure it out for myself, when I should have been going to other people's shows, asking them questions. But now that I'm getting, a little bit bigger, I'm like, man, how can I keep continuing down this road? So I continue to go to concerts and asking people questions.
It doesn't sound like anything that specific other than get better. Nothing in specific in particular other than practice more.
Yeah,
get better.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard, especially because I'm still new to I guess my reputation is still. I'm not super known yet.
You're at the beginning.
Yep, I'm still pretty small, if that makes sense. So I don't think I'd have any advice on how to get those shows, other than just calling and emailing doesn't always work. You got to show up there sometimes and talk to the managers, and it might not be one time. You might have to go multiple times. I remember this one time, and you're not always going to get accepted either. One time I was emailing this one guy, and I emailed him probably 3 or 4 times, and he was like, stop emailing me, I'm not interested. And I was like, okay, sorry, but I'm just trying to get my name out there, but it's not always going to go perfect. You just need to keep going, and not caring what other people think too is a big thing, because that guy, I'm still going to email him because I still want to book that place. So that's just another thing, being persistent. Yeah. Persistence is a huge thing. A lot of people say it takes 10 years to get big in music. But I'm going to try and beat that. 10 years is a long time. I mean, to me. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not even that old yet, but
you have a lot of big dreams?
Definitely. Yeah, nice. Definitely.
There's a guy I worked with, his name was Derek Fay. He told me this is pretty common advice I get from, working with those big bodybuilders and stuff who are they're in the top of their field, and I always try to pick their brains to learn something the way you kind of how you're explaining. And one thing that seems to be a common factor in them all is to dream huge. They dream really big, so much so that it's embarrassing to tell people oh, what's your dream? And it's I don't know if I should tell you my actual dream, because from my experience too, people who aren't dreaming, they kind of naturally, I've even felt it in myself, want to shit on people who are dreaming, where it's that's not possible. Yeah. That's not very realistic. What if it doesn't work out? And even if though people aren't coming out with that negative, energy, they're just trying to be real or whatever. You can you can feel when they're just not dreamers. They don't know what it's like to be willing to risk and do something big in life. Yeah. Even if, who knows? Yeah, maybe things won't work out, but I mean, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna have food in our belly, and we're gonna still be around people we love, and you're just gonna look back and have all these badass memories of actually doing things. Worst case scenario. Yep. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for you, what's your big dream? Are you embarrassed?
No, I mean, I think I think anything is attainable, you know, especially if you stick with it. I think eventually, as long as you stick with it, like you're gonna make that goal. The hard part is just sticking with it. I don't know if there's like a specific place that I want to play at or anything like that, but I'd say I'd love to be headlining like my own tour, you know, just going. I'd love to have. I wouldn't even say there's like a certain amount of listeners, you know. I think a big goal of mine is just to. I don't even know if I'd say I've thought about exactly where I want to be, but I do want to go big. I really do. I think attainable like short-term goal would be playing at Highway 30 on one of the days for sure. That's a good short-term goal. Starting to play at fairs. I think that's a pretty good short-term goal for me. And I think within the next couple of years, hopefully I'll be at that level. And then releasing an album for sure. After releasing these couple singles that I'm going to have, I'll start working on an album, get that out. And then a lot of it is just, you know, a lot of it is social media too. And then getting those listens up on Spotify. And I wouldn't say there's like a certain goal because I don't know what is good for that yet because I'm just still pretty new to it. But for me,
I'm getting so dizzy. I gotta take this out.
No,
you still got yours in?
Yeah.
All right.
But
yeah.
That's a good thing to you know think about. I'm not completely sure, but I think within the next couple of years for sure playing big shows,
growing your audience.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna clip that and play that. But when you go to Highway 30, that little clip right there, you talking about going to Highway 30, we're going to mash that up when you're actually there.
Yeah.
And another question, what's the most challenging aspect of your career?
Staying persistent.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. And then try not to get discouraged. Just keeping going. That's probably I wouldn't say it's super difficult, but staying really motivated to practice, keep practicing every day when you don't really know what to learn. I think for guitar, I'm at a level where I'm like, man, I have no idea what to do next. So just keeping practicing those same things over and over and trying to like add more things, and just doing that every day, trying to just stay on that same track. That's definitely the hardest thing for sure, is staying motivated to keep practicing. Definitely.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I got nice cameras. You got nice music. I have friends who my friend in Bakersfield, his whole family, they like rappers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
People want me to make music videos with them. And I'm like, I don't like the music. I need to like the music so I can imagine. I want to get creative with it. I like your music. I could see us making a music video sometime, dude. I think that would be sick if we collaborated like that.
That'd be awesome.
And do some sort of like cinematic storytelling. I always tell people this is the type of music videos I hate, when they just sit there and talk to the camera. When it's just a variety of scenes of singing to the camera.
Yep.
I love the music videos where there's either one, choreography going on, like some sort of, artistic thing like that, or two, storytelling going on, where it's like a story that you're watching on the music video.
Yep.
So if you ever feel inspired to do something like that, we should sit down and talk about that.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But well, thank you so much for coming, man. This is our first time meeting. This is sick. You're a really cool guy.
Thank you.
Really easy to get along with. I'm rooting for you, dude. I think it's gonna be sick. I feel like you got a lot of promise ahead of you, especially with the type of guy you are. Very strong work ethic, stud quarterback guy. You got everything you need. In film school and stuff, there's like a lot of my peers, they're like kind of in the art world. You see a lot of those people who they don't have that discipline aspect. They want to be an artist, but they don't have those qualities that can make them push that persistence factor when things get hard and you need to keep pushing. But clearly that's not going to be a factor for you. You seem like a very resilient guy with a great support system.
Definitely.
And, you got Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
helping you out. So anything's possible. Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we cut this off?
I think that's it.
Dude, wait, no, come on. I tuned that guitar right there specifically because you were coming. Right here? Yeah. Do you want to play something at all?
I'll play something.
You down? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Let's get it.
You got a specific song, maybe?
Oh, it's up to you, man. It's up to you. Whatever you want to play. Okay. You can. You know more about this mic shit. You put it where you want. You want this?
Let's do this. I'm actually gonna play. I'll play an original song.
Oh yeah.
This one is not out yet. It's not even being recorded yet. So it's kind of just a little taste of. This one's called "You Should Have Been There." So in high school, me and my buddies used to hang out at Murtaugh Lake, and we do crazy stuff that teenagers would do. And those were like the best times. And it's called "You Should Have Been There" because you should have been there. Even though like when we got home, my mom would say like, "Oh, you shouldn't have been there," and whatever. But yeah, this is just a song about like having a good time with my buddies, and like whether it was Murtaugh Lake or whether it was somewhere in Buell or wherever. Like I think everybody kind of had that little place that they hung out with their buddies and had a good time. So yeah, this is called "You Should Have Been There."
Let me adjust this mic real quick.
Okay. Don't worry, mama, we won't be out late. Just a couple of boys out in Murtaugh Lake, running wild, not giving a damn about the troubles that start around 1 a.m. Cracking jokes, Coors Light in our hands, not a care in the world, speeding round the bend. Crack out the bottle, pass around again. It's been a hell of a ride, so let the stories begin. You should have been there, smoking the air, listen to our favorite songs. Yeah, it was real life, had such a good time, whether it was right or wrong. Chasing the sunlight, running the stop signs, break 100 in your car, staring at the moon, writing some good tunes. Who knew we'd get this far? You should have been there, you should have been there. You should have been there, you should have been there, you should have been there. Don't worry, Daddy, will be alright. Just a couple of boys going out for the night, running around off the slow going type, even chasing the girls and only finishing fights. Good old boys, we don't follow trends. Those old memories come on now and then. Pull up a chair, man, how you been? It was the time of our lives, so let's do it again. You should have been there, smoking the air, listen to our favorite songs. Yeah, it was real life, had such a good time, whether it was right or wrong. Chasing the sunlight, running the stop signs, break 100 in your car, staring at the moon, writing some good tunes. Who knew we'd get this far? You should have been there, you should have been there. You should have been there, you should have been there, you should have been there. We're all gonna have stories to tell our kids, so spark up that fire. And no, you can't pretend that you haven't been there, smoking the air, listen to your favorite songs. Yeah, it was real life, had such a good time, whether it was right or wrong. Chasing the sunlight, running the stop signs, break 100 in your car, staring at the moon, writing some good tunes. Who knew we'd get this far? You should have been there, you should have been there. You should have been there, you should have been there, you should have been there.
Fuck yeah.
That's it right there.
Heath Owens, ladies and gentlemen. That's awesome. Fuck yeah, dude. That's a great way to end it. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Appreciate you.